This anime has come to such a satisfying conclusion that should they make more, I'll be eagerly watching. But should this be a 12 episode anime, one and done, no more, no OVA, no second season, I wouldn't be crying either. I think it ends on such a satisfying note that, yeah, they're married and they're gonna be married for many years to come. We shouldn't expect to see every day of their life, but the days we did get to see with them together, it shows us that this will be a damn perfect marriage, and honestly, the sky's the limit for these two lovebirds. It's ridiculous, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's just soul-catching. It's amazing to see what the author and the studio were able to accomplish with originally creating the work and adapting it to the anime medium with all the bells and whistles you'd want to see. I said it last week, episode 11 served as what you would typically see as a season finale. All the characters come together, they bond, they bicker, they ultimately leave on a satisfying note. I said, with that being done already by episode 11, episode 12 could literally do anything they wanted, and I doubt it would fail. This week's episode, for half the episode, was them together, our wife taking care of the little husband who's sick and didn't take care of his own health, to then ending on the festival, the fireworks, which, yeah, you see it a lot in rom-coms. The whole festival, nice clothing, the nice food, things like that. It's nothing crazy, but to see them together, to see these two together doing those activities, it was amazing. Hell, our boy got a little frisky after, recovering from his illness, but our girl kind of shut that down. Not because she didn't want it, but because if you're this eager and okay from being sick, it's time for you to get some rest first and foremost. I just love what they're able to accomplish with such a believable marriage. It's unrealistic in the sense that it's reversed, marriage to then building up the normal relationship. I mean, it wasn't until episode 12 that he was allowed to look at his wife changing. We definitely took it a lot slower, but we also took it faster than pretty much any rom-com out there. And it's such a fascinating formula, and you can definitely tell the author of the original manga took influence from his own life. Not only the fact that I heard that his wife actually voices Nasa's mother in the anime, it feels like he drew from real influences from his own marriage to write something that feels genuine. While watching this entire show, I constantly caught things that felt like, oh, I can relate this to my own life and my own personal love life, and it's really nice to see how they're able to write something that, whether you relate to it or not, you can just tell this is genuine anime love. And I can't say that for a rom-com, I feel that all too often. Despite loving rom-com anime, there's very rare cases that I can point out and say this feels like someone who understands what love is, rather it generally feels like this is what someone thinks love is but probably never experienced it. So to have a show like this where our boy overworks himself to the point of getting sick and she's worried sick about it, is doing everything she can, but feels like she doesn't know what she can do to really help him. And he's not taking it all that seriously, and it makes her a little upset and worried, and it's something that I can personally relate to. I constantly don't take care of my own self, but will personally look more after my partner's health than my own. I constantly forget to eat because I'm just so dedicated to making my videos, getting it done. That's why Fridays this season's kill me, doing 4 videos a day for the most part. So stuff like that, it's very easy for you to overlook your own health and then realizing, oh shit, I'm actually making them upset because I'm not taking care of myself. So the idea of how they're able to take a sickness and make it super cute and adorable, seeing the bonding moments, but then seeing them come together and, hug and cuddle and just be like, I was terrified that you were gonna, just a sickness. He's not actually going to die, but the overwhelming worry that something bad could happen, it's understandable. And I think that's what makes the show so special, is that despite being clouded and kind of surrounded by this adorable, hilarious coat of paint, deep down, it boils down to a husband and wife who love each other so much that each day they love each other more, and you feel like their relationship gets stronger by the minute. And when it gets pervy, it's never pervy in a weird way, it's pervy in a cute, hilarious way. The idea of him being like, it should be okay for me to peek. Absolutely should be okay. I mean, they've been married for how long now, and they still haven't seen each other naked. It's understandable because they took it in such a weird direction of marriage before even having sex or kissing, things like that. So it is understandable, but it's just hilarious to see those moments and to see him just eyes glued to the screen, her embarrassed. This is more than a peek. This is you full on taking memory pictures. It's hilarious. And to see just simple moments with Natsu, he's been so photogenic towards, of course, Tsukasa, taking pictures nonstop. She does the same thing when he's sleeping and sick. They're just so perfect together, and it builds this very wholesome and precious atmosphere that you don't get to see in rom-coms. I can safely say this is top 3 rom-com anime for me, if I'm being completely honest. Number 1 will always be Toradora, Snafu's my number 2, Over the Moon for You is my number 3. It's just so precious, and I think it really does cement itself as being something so extraordinary. And the back half with going to the festival and then wishing for your loved one's health, and the idea of her conversation about how, like, if you did this, like if you ate ramen 3 times a day, and it goes on this big spiel, but it kind of boils down to, like, if people are laughing and you were doing it and you weren't taking into consideration, I would make you stop even if it made us have a fight, because I care about your life and I'm going to make sure you live a long, happy life, as I know you'll do for me. And to see those moments and just the bonding moments, like, it just feels like this isn't written by an author who doesn't understand what a relationship is, and it feels like the studio wants it not just to be a funny looking anime with cute round character designs and goofy faces. I mean, when Tsukasa gets mad and she's in her bed head and she's all ready to go to bed and her head is getting larger, it's hilarious, but it's also adorable, right? You don't look at her as this evil monster, but this cute, adorable housewife, and it really does melt you non-stop. That's why I think this episode was absolutely flawless. I'd honestly go to say this might be my personal favorite episode of Over the Moon for You, not because I think it necessarily did anything all that different or better than previous episodes, but I think because it's such a satisfying way that you say, hey, if they give us an OVA, if they give us a season 2, we'd be good. But we can't also argue that the conclusion of episode 12 makes us confident in their relationship, that we don't need to see more, and we know this is leaving off on a satisfying note. There's obviously the whole potential of, is there actually a supernatural angle people will latch onto? For me, I've never really focused in on it too much, just because for me, the past was never important. It was more of when those moments popped up, I just related them to funny moments. Obviously, if they do commit to it in the anime eventually, sure, that's fine, it works in its favor. But for me, it's always been about these two's growing relationship and the friends and family that they make along the way, and it's been phenomenal for that alone. I think one of the biggest compliments you can actually give the show, outside of its obviously picture-perfect relationship and 2 flawless main characters, is I wouldn't change a thing about the side cast. All the side characters, even the maids, despite the maids being there for more goofy jokes and things like that, you can't deny that the side cast felt fleshed out enough that they felt like people with their own distinct personalities, and when they were on screen, you didn't feel like they were distracting us from the main obstacles and the main focal points at hand. Rather, they generally complemented it amazingly well, and at worst, they were just complementing it in a funny way. The maids are honestly the least fleshed out characters, but I do think they served a funny comedic purpose that also showed genuine compassion and caring towards Tsukasa. And stuff like love triangles and romance and childhood friends, it all felt like, rather than just playing by the traditional rule set, we made them into people, and that's why episode 11 was so amazing to see them all come together and kind of bond. And then to see this episode and reuniting once again for the fireworks, it just felt completely flawless, and I wouldn't change a single thing about this show if I'm being 100% honest. Some people may say that's bias or fanboy or whatever else you want to say. I wouldn't change a single thing. I thought this anime was perfect for what it set out to do, and I wouldn't change a damn thing. This was without a doubt one of my personal favorites of 2020, not even just the fall 2020 anime season, and I'm really excited to see what the future of the anime will look like. If this is all we get, I'm completely satisfied, but if they give us more, you know I'll be reviewing it and watching it day 1 every single week. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think? And if you get a season 2, where do you think they might take it down the road? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you have been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.